So, 2022 is over. I've managed to get a world record every month of that year. Discovered a new glitch was repeatable. I became a non-shortcut legend in Mario Kart 64. A shortcut god. First perfect marathon. Lots of great runs. What next? For those of you who are dropping into this video, I'm sure you can tell just by the title, it's gonna be sort of a Q&A, and I consider it an unofficial celebration for having reached 50 subscribers on my YouTube channel. That's kind of crazy. To think that 50 of you around the world are interested in my content and willing to follow it along constantly. I mean, I do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. No amount of thanks will be able to really truly express how grateful I am I'm able to do this. The point of this video, of course, being to give people an idea of what I'm going to do next, which should be exciting. We'll see, though. I mean, it's not a guarantee how things are going to go, but it will be, suffice to say, a bit of an explanation for how 2023 may or may not go. No guarantees. Some of these plans might just fall flat, but I got a couple of questions. I've curated them myself because none of my followers or viewers created any themselves, so... But this is based on questions I've received in the past, questions people might have had, questions that people may have not been willing to ask, but I'm willing to bring them up myself. There's a couple of them, and we shall get started, shall we? Do you have an idea of what type of stream schedule you'll incorporate during 2023? And that is a good starting question because last year was unpredictable. I could not tell you exactly what I was doing or if I had any ideas for how I was going to move forward with Twitch streaming, but I guess one thing I can say for certain is that I will stream. I don't know how much or how little in 2023, but the idea would be to do 3 to 4 stream days a week, maybe once every other day, and if I'm really feeling it, I might get in a full 6 to 7 day streaming week, which that's if I'm feeling it. What I'm trying to say is I don't really have a concrete schedule in mind, but rather just I'll play when I feel. Maybe I'll give an announcement ahead of time. At least I'll try to do it more often. I know I'm infamous for starting up streams and there's just no warning. People are just like, oh, he's live. And they can decide whether to check me out or not, or just find somebody else to watch. But yeah, that's going to be kind of the way I'm going to try to do it. There may be some days where I'll try to do double-header streams, but that's if I'm really feeling like I'm in for the marathon. That's the sort of thing I'm looking at. When I'm home and I'm not necessarily as focused on work, I'll have more time for streaming. But once I have work again, it's going to come back down to just I'm just going to focus on the job a little bit more. I'll still stream 2-3 days of the week. Maybe it depends on how stressed out or how particularly bogged down I am. So that's gonna be decided as time goes by. Nonetheless, I mean, the schedule, kind of a schedule, but not really. I guess that's the way to answer the question. I just gave a few ideas. That's about the best I can do for this one. Will I still be streaming Mario Kart 64 time trials in 2023? The answer is absolutely yes. I mean, what do you think? I don't know if I'd be willing to ditch it so quickly, just simply because my viewers love watching it, and people on my YouTube channel like watching my PR videos. So, obviously I'm going to keep it around, and I'm still having fun with it, so why get rid of something that I already like to begin with? It's going to be something that I'm going to do, but the frequency of it, at least on streaming live, is probably going to decrease. It's not going to be an everyday sort of thing like I did certain months of the year. I think I'm going to try to focus it with a 2 to 3 days per week. And of course there's going to be some offline grinding every now and then, simply just because there are some players that want me to play the game regardless of whether I want to be live or not. I don't like being live at all times of the day, just simply because I just don't feel like stealing the attention away from other Mario Kart 64 players who are much more deserving of the limelight at certain times. Players that are much more dedicated than I am. And that goes into certain disciplines as well. With Shortcut, yeah, I'm going to stream that pretty often. It depends on how I'm feeling in the day. If I'm like feeling like my rank is in danger, then obviously I'm going to go after it a lot more gung-ho. If I feel like some of my state records are going to be taken, then yeah, I'm going to go after it pretty heavily. There's some new shortcuts that I still haven't taken fullest advantage of. Rather, I've just kind of like hit the shortcut and called it a day. I can't do that as much as I used to anymore. I'm going to have to just sort of study them more in depth. So the time trials aren't just going to be like raw attempts itself. It's going to be more or less like I'm going to do some more research into them, but that requires me to find my controller adapter, which I haven't found in a while, and I'm pretty sure it is actually with somebody else at the moment. It's something that I can recover still. It's not something I haven't permanently lost, so that research aspect is still going to happen, even if it doesn't happen on the computer, which is right to this way. I'm going to have like a practice ROM option that I can use on the EverDrive, which brings a whole different outlet of time trials with ROM hacks as well of Mario Kart 64 that I could try as well in case I ever get sick of Shortcut or regular non-Shortcut on vanilla MK64. But that being said, yeah, I'm going to also focus the way I do Mario Kart time trials a little bit differently as well. I'm not necessarily just going to like do them like, oh, I'm going to play a bunch of different courses in a day. I guess the exception might be towards a different month of the year that I'll explain in greater detail later. But with shortcuts, it's going to be kind of like, I'm going to focus time on like maybe 1 or 2 courses tops for both the flap and the 3-lap, and just grind them over the course of the month just to see how far I can push, and then switch them up as the next month shifts. So right now for January, it's DKJP, SL, SC. At the moment, they have the most potential for time save and rank advancement, so my average finish could be beefed up heavily, and I'm relying on those two to give me the extra mile. With non-shortcut, it's going to be slightly different. I'm going to be kind of just grinding, like, get a substandard increase for each course that I go, switch to something else. It'll provide some variety while not driving myself too crazy. I don't care anymore if people pass me in non-shortcut. I used to. I mean, and I still do kind of, but like at the same time, like, why should I get so worked up about it? It's just not worth it. I just want to just be able to feel like I'm having fun with it, and that's kind of be the way I'm gearing the way I'm streaming time trials this year. So yeah, long story short, still streaming, gonna be a different approach. Still, hopefully, I think it's gonna be fun. We'll see. You know, first 2 weeks have been very productive, gotten a lot more done than I anticipated, and I'm hoping it'll be the same way. What will Mario Kart 64 streaming be like as a whole in 2023? That is a great question, because, I mean, I did say I'm doing time trials, but I'm not going to be doing them nearly to the same intensity that I was in previous years, and that is because I want to focus a little bit more on 150cc. I've discovered how fun that is, and I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential I have in that particular area. I did some no-skips runs the night before. You can judge on what day I decided to record this video and put it all together, that I had a lot of fun, even though the run didn't necessarily finish the way I wanted it to. You know, I still had a good time with it, and I'm thinking that, like, no-skips and skips runs are gonna really bring a whole new facet of fun to this game, because I could totally burn out in time trials, but like with this extra added area, the variety will increase. I'll have different ways to play it, and actually another thing about Mario Kart 64 streaming is I have an opportunity to tackle multiplayer as well. I want to do like multiplayer streams on a specific day of the week though, simply because I feel like just how there's like work, there's also speedrunning work, and then the multiplayer work is not really at the top of my priorities list. It's one of those things where I'll do it like maybe once a week, maybe twice a week tops, given I find the controller adapter I use to play multiplayer. 4P versus GP exhibition matches would be a lot of fun on like Saturdays or Sundays. I think that'd be good, and I almost feel like that would actually be geared very nicely towards like multiplayer online sessions with other people, not just on like Nintendo 64, but also the GameCube as well. So, you know, I think I may try to sort of create that whole new type of style to serve as like a complement to my speedruns and then my races and other content like that. I think it'd be good because it'll help the game be fun in several various different ways. And then I guess later in the year there may be the One Tri League again for 64 time trials. We'll see if I participate in that, but for the most part, it's going to be hopefully a healthy mix of time trials whenever I feel it. A lot of 150cc, both full runs, and also 150cc individual levels times as well. I've had a lot of fun with those, and maybe I'll take part in more of those as well. And on top of that, doing multiplayer just to help me not feel like I'm constantly having to work to get certain times, just to make the fun a little extra. That's the idea of what Mario Kart 64 is going to be like this year. We'll see. It's subject to change, but that's what I have in mind for now. What will your Mario Kart 64 awards entries be like in 2023? Will there be any changes or extra content included? Now, this question is actually geared towards something that I do on the Mario Kart 64 speedrunning Discord server. It's a lot of fun. It's where I write about some players that I believe had, like, great performances or good performances for the half of each month. And I've already got the first one out for the first half of January. I still plan on doing those. I don't think the format's going to change too much. I did consider, because the website, the new Mario Kart players page for 64 moves really fast. So it's harder for me to properly gauge which players are doing well. I could probably get an idea of that from the 2023 website, but I'm still going to miss some players. The idea would be to continue doing the bi-weekly format, but then add a little extra content. As I said before, will there be any changes or extra content? I don't think there's going to be any changes, but the content that will be added, I think, is going to be more focused on, like, player highlights, maybe state highlights, doing extra little historical bits. Maybe I'll add, like, previous years as well for, like, a little extra content to enrich in the community. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We'll see how people feel about that. You know, I want to contribute to the community. This, to me, feels like an outlet to help a community of people that I really like being around. One of my favorites, actually. You know, speedrunning this game might be stale, but the group of people that are around here, I mean, I can't take them for granted. Bunch of lovely folks, I will say that much, and I want to continue to make them feel like they're getting my respect, my adoration, and just a bunch of material that helps make being a part of this community a lot of fun. So yeah, continuing to do the awards, not too much different, hopefully a little bit extra pizzazz. So that's my plan for this year. Will you be further branching out in the Mario Kart series during 2023? The answer is yes, I have plans to do so. I filmed this once, then my phone glitched out because I ran out of space, so I have to do it a second time. Yeah, I plan to investigate a little bit further into it. Of course, there's going to be that Mario Kart themed March month that I have done in 2021. Was supposed to do in 2022, got stressed out, decided not to do it, and I'm going to try to bring it back for 2023. So the only exceptions will probably not be featured are going to be the Mario Kart DS and of course Mario Kart 7 and probably 8 Deluxe if I cannot get my HD cap card to capture the signal properly. I've had some problems with that. Maybe I'll explain it a little bit further, but I guess the point is I'm going to try to get a variety of time trials, full-length runs, a little bit of exploration into each of the games. Bottom line is, yeah, I'm going to try to dig a little bit deeper into it. I know this is a bit of a short question, but I had an in-depth explanation. It got bopped because my phone didn't have enough space, so I'm just kind of giving a condensed explanation for that. So, moving on to the next question. Are there any world records you're interested in pursuing in 2023?
So, as you may be able to tell, I had to change angles, and this is because my phone ran out of space. I'm making these videos on here because I don't trust the computer, which is right up here, to film all this in high enough quality. So I've decided to actually change the angle. I know, probably doesn't look, it probably looks worse. I don't know. Who's to say? Anyways, back to the world record question. Yeah, I plan on pursuing a few speedrun world records. Of course, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be interesting though. I think this year's mostly is just gonna be spent defending the ones I have. Maybe I'll add a few new ones.
I want to handle it this year, the way I want to handle it this year, the pronunciation of it the first time. The way I want to handle things in 2023 is to also expand a little bit in the way that I think it'd be cool to find different consoles to become specialists in, because I've already got specialties in GBA, Game Boy Color, original Game Boy, maybe not exactly, but you know, maybe we can develop that this year. And maybe we can also develop specialties in other consoles like the NES, perhaps, the SNES, because those two, I've got some somewhat good games that I play, but like I'm not really like a hardcore specialist like I am in Nintendo 64, and perhaps we can even do the same for GameCube, Nintendo Wii, so on and so forth. The idea would be like, you know, what can I do to make myself more well-rounded? And this goes even well beyond world records. It also expands into one of the next questions that I'll be answering. So, yes, I'll be pursuing some. You'll find out what it is soon enough. I don't exactly have like clear-cut plans, but there are certain things that are on my radar that I want to try to dig deeper into. What speedruns do you have projected for 2023? And yeah, like I mentioned in the previous question, I'd like to see if I could pick up speedruns that further make me more well-rounded. And one thing I did forget to mention is I do have a PlayStation Portable that I can stream on now. Hopefully that is not restricted by the fact that my capture card's acting all strange. So that might be a kicker for a while until I get a new HD cap card that actually works on the computers that I have right now. But the idea would be exploration, try to find more things that make me much more well-rounded, and continue to show my specialty as a jack of all trades. I've always liked being the jack of all trades rather than like master of one particular thing, so that would be cool to me. You know, if I look at the GameCube games above me, because I've got a bunch of games on the shelf up here, some down there. With the PlayStation series, I think it'd be cool to try to dig into the Gran Turismo series. I think that'd be fun to learn just as another facet of racing, just to show that like Mario Kart 64 was not an accident. I didn't just get like somewhat good at that game on accident. You know, I got some serious innate ability to handle racing games well. And so that might be able to branch myself further out. Plus I got a few racing games for the Sega Saturn that I'd be interested in trying. It would be cool to learn some speedruns for the Sega Genesis as well. I've got that recently, and the Dreamcast as well. I mean, I got a whole bunch of different games that I could try out. Echo the Dolphin series looks like an interesting speedrunning thing. Might be really difficult, but we'll see. Bunch of PlayStation games that I'd love to try out speedrunning wise as well. Same goes with the other Nintendo consoles I mentioned, and if the ones that I try to go for world record on don't quite go the way I expect, I can always just go back to speedrunning them for fun. That's something that doesn't cause me to stress out all the time, and is more or less just like, how can I explore speedrunning as a whole? How can I figure out what weaknesses I have? How can I figure out how to have more fun with speedrunning as a hobby? Because that has been kind of the process that I've been following for the past 1.5 decades, and that continues to be the way that I look at things with speedrunning, and hopefully it'll be the way that I continue to look at speedrunning as a whole. So yeah, kind of an idea, rough way to look at it. There might be way more beneath that, and I may unintentionally answer those questions going into the last couple of questions that I have here. Do you have any other general speedrunning plans for 2023? And the answer is, of course I do. Not to mention, do I want to do not only one streaming themed month with that Mario Kart themed month of March. I do plan to bring back the Frogger themed month of February again, which is next month. 2 weeks from now, less than 2 weeks actually. I had a lot of fun with it the previous 2 times, and I want to continue to try it again. And that will include some speedrunning stuff, but it'll also include some casual playthrough content. I'll get into that later, of course. Speedrunning, of course, with that one, I want to try to see how much further I can dig into the Game Boy Color Frogger games. Temple of the Frog, I believe it's called. And maybe speedrun some more PS1 Frogger games as well. Frogger 1 and Swampy's Revenge. Well, those were fun. I felt like I could dig a little bit deeper into those on an individual level basis. Maybe even full runs, we'll see.
Maybe for He's Back, I might have to restrict it to any percent because that game is so brutal. Swampy's Revenge seems a little bit more feasible. We'll see. Another themed month I want to do speedrunning based around is May, with the month of Metroid. That was fun. I had fun with it last year, and I want to kind of explore a little bit into that again this year. But we'll see. Didn't quite get to do exactly what I wanted to do with it last year because my computer sort of broke during that month. So it's an open canvas, and maybe we'll get some more themed streams in as well. Speedrunning, generally speaking, I think two things for sure within my general speedrunning plans. The Summer Games and Winter Games Speedrun Saga 2023 will be coming back. I had a lot of fun, especially with last year's 2022 Winter Games Speedrun Saga. That was amazing. I never had a speedrun marathon where I finished every single game that I had scheduled. So, that was incredible, and I feel like I finally found a way to schedule things out. Doesn't stress me out as much. It's a lot of fun, and could even go a little bit further beyond what I'd been doing before. So, should be good. There's more speedrunning plans, and I'll discuss, of course, I think randomizer races and blind races, and I'll go into more detail to that soon enough. Will there be any more blind races, randomizer races, or marathons with the MTU Speedrun crew in 2023? The answer is, I hope so. I really want to again, because the few that I did in 2022 were tons and tons of fun. They were just highlight machines. There were so many clips that I was able to use in this year's montage, although that's not the only purpose. I just like to do them because they're fun. They're amazing, and it allows me to keep in contact with the old friends from college. The blind races that I did last year were fun. We didn't get to really do one this year per se, rather than just focus more on the randomizer races. So I would be hoping to do a little bit more of those. The map randomizer race that we did this year was... it was amazing. It was a little chaotic and I got a little crazy at times, but it ended up being fun in the end. At least for me. And I hope that my friends Gator, Mudkip, and Robotic are gung-ho for doing at least another one or two of those this year. We used to do a ton of them in 2021, but it seems the number has diminished over the past 3 years. Maybe it's because people are actually starting to get outside and have fun, but I think it'd be cool to continue to do those, and I'll see. I hope to run more of those. The marathon, specifically the Kirby speedrunning relay, proved so much more that I'm capable of. We can run marathons, hosting them live on my computer. It turns out I'm capable of being able to handle that, so I think I'm going to try to see if we can keep that MTU speedrunning thing alive, even if it's not within an official capacity, just simply because it would encourage more people from my old university to keep on speedrunning, and it might invite new people to get into it as well, and most importantly, because it's fun. At the end of the day, I like doing it. I think my friends like doing it as well, and I'm going to try to pester them to keep on participating. It's worth it, I would think, in the end of it all. If it fades away, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'll be a little disappointed if it ends up working out like that, but I want to think that the fun of it will outweigh us forgetting about running it, So, yeah. Gonna try to keep that up. It's always been a highlight of my past few years on certain weekends, so yeah, count on seeing a few more of those. Will there be any themed streaming months on Twitch in 2023? I kind of already double-dipped this question to a certain extent with the general speedrunning plans, but yes, there will be some themed streaming months. Of course, the one for Mario Kart in March, the one for Frogger in February, the one for Metroid in May. Those three, I'm pretty sure, are going to come back. I might try to run a few more themed months throughout other parts of the year as well, if I can find some video game series that have first letters that start with the same month. I don't necessarily have to make it that way. I could probably do it a little bit differently, but that to me, it's great fun. It's ways that I keep myself engaged in general with the games that I like to play. It'd be cool to try to do a themed month just solely around casual streaming, something like that. I'm going to try to a little bit
delve deeper into this idea and see if I can find some more theme streaming months. Just as something to add some variety to my streaming schedule in general. Especially looking at things like looking at certain months like where things get a little bit quiet, like maybe perhaps in July or September, perhaps even October and November to a certain extent. Maybe I can just base them around certain things, maybe certain holidays. I don't know. I'm kind of riffing with this one, but themed months will come back. Hopefully they'll continue, and they'll hopefully be even better than the previous year. Any potential casual playthrough streams in 2023? How about non-gaming streams? Will there possibly be any of those? And that's a great question too. I know those weren't always asked, but in previous years it's like, will you bring this back? Are you going to plan to try to bring that back? The casual playthroughs that I did do in past few years, having a lot of fun. I never actually got around to completing Pokemon Stadium, so that might give me an excuse to complete it this year in 2023. There's like 2 things that I haven't gotten through, and they're incredibly daunting, and there's just good reason why I haven't revisited them in a good while. But other casual playthroughs I did have fun managing to complete through Wind Waker. Tons and tons of fun. Didn't get very many highlights out of it, because it's a different type of stream, of course. In some ways, you could say there was casual streaming to the Frogger themed month with games like The Rescue and I'm trying to think. There was another Frogger one that I had. I cannot remember the name of it right now, but there was another one that I had partaken in as well. So, for the themed months, I would say there's going to be some casual playthrough potential, especially with the Frogger month, because I still got to get through casual playthroughs of Helmet Chaos, Frogger Beyond, and Ancient Shadow, which, if you're wondering why I'm looking up, that's probably because I'm looking at the titles of the games up there. I've been kind of looking at trying to get some casual playthroughs completed for those, including the GBA one that I didn't get through all the way through last year. I got close, but I just wasn't quite able to close out the task on that one, so I definitely plan on having casual playthroughs of those taken care of, but not even necessarily confined within the themed months. I think things like getting a little bit more variety in them by maybe perhaps streaming some of the other ones that I haven't gotten a chance to do much playing through, like maybe even Crazy Taxi, or to expand a little bit further, like the F-Zero games, which could also double dip as speedrunning, a bunch of others. I mean, I have an Animal Crossing game for the GameCube, as well as Paper Mario. Thousand Year Door. I finally got my hands on that too, so that and other games that have some casual playthrough potential, like Valkyrie Profile. The Final Fantasy series has tons of them. I have an Assassin's Creed game for the PSP. That'll depend on if I can get the PSP working with the capture card. We'll see. It's a total mystery to me. Then there are other games that I haven't really gotten much of a chance to show off. Like, Wind Waker was fun. I think maybe there might be some potential to continue doing casual playthroughs of the Zelda series with things like Twilight Princess, or some of the older ones or newer ones as well, because I never got through all of Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, and that might be the excuse for me to finally get through everything, in a sense, for all of those, and also helping me discover new things. There's endless potential for casual playthrough streams. It's going to kind of come down to a combination of what I want to do and also what some of the viewers might want to watch. I know most of them are just like, keep playing Mario Kart 64. That's fun. I like it too, but maybe I'll get some nice suggestions from them to do other things. Again, it'll depend on how I feel, it'll depend on how they feel, and we're going to try to cater to both crowds, both myself and the crowd, so definitely plan on those. With the non-gaming streams, one thing I can think of that I would love to bring back to a greater extent, and it'll depend on how I can put it together, are music streams. I did one in 2020, it was a ton of fun, quite a few people watched those. There's like 1 or 2 of them tops. I like to bring those back and just sort of allow myself to exercise my music compositional skills, because I don't do enough with those, and I spent a lot of time as a musician in my past few years, and I think it'd be fun to share that with the world. And I wouldn't say I'm necessarily looking for an excuse, but it's important to have some balance in life, and speedrunning is not the only thing in my life. And I think, showing what sort of abilities and
the love I have for music would be a nice balance, and it might bring in some other people as well that wouldn't have otherwise checked out my channel. So definitely plans for both non-gaming and casual playthrough streams. So we'll see how that all works out at the end of it all. Is there a chance you will make a return to competitive Smash or even include FGC for your plans in 2023? So for those of you who don't know, FGC is an acronym for Fighting Game Community. And for those of you who are like the way older crowd of folks who were around well before I returned to streaming again, I did spend a lot of years playing competitive Smash, specifically in Melee and Smash 64. I quit for a good while. I wouldn't say quit, I wouldn't necessarily put it that way. I think I would put it as like, I was on hiatus for a long time. 3-year high rate, nearly a 3-year hiatus. Just simply because the game got too stressful. I was it was not the same thing that it used to be for a few years, and I was starting to realize that burnout was going to be like totally devastating if I didn't do something about it in advance. So I kind of gave it up once NetPlay became a thing, but the way I look at it is I don't necessarily know if I'm going to return or make a full-blown return. I have too much fun with speedrunning, and it would mean I'd have to take time away from Mario Kart 64, which is just not something I can do nearly as much anymore. So I'd say maybe I'll come back. I certainly will get a bit of a test run, given there is a few competitive Smash tournaments that they usually run at my old university for Winter Carnival. So we'll see how that goes. If I have fun with it, maybe I'll participate every now and then with that. I could lump it in with my multiplayer versus matches Mario Kart 64 on Saturdays, and I could just do a bunch of NetPlay stuff. So we'll see. I haven't been too keen on NetPlay. Part of it's just because I don't like the vibe of it, the experience, but also just simply the mindset that I was in at the time just didn't really correlate with NetPlay. But now I've got a good PC. I feel like I could, find myself in a position where I might find it fun. We'll see. Part of it is I want to, I wouldn't do ranked NetPlay just simply because the people that are on there deserve an actual, good running setup that with another opponent that is not necessarily, limited. I can't connect a, million-foot Ethernet wire to connect to the router because I'm in the basement, which limits me, so I'd probably just do unranked, just simply because I'm not that interested in the game like I used to be. Probably the same for 64 as well, because they were fun. I feel like if I come back and give them a second chance, they might still be fun, but I'd have to sort of explore them in a different light now, because, again, the games sort of ruined a bit of the way that I handle video games in some way. I did like the communities of the people that I was around, although sometimes I felt like I had strains with them just due to personal reasons that I put upon myself. And I'm willing to give a second chance because, quite frankly, to give up on them like that, it kind of feels wrong. And I should try to at least affirm to myself that it wasn't for nothing, or that maybe it can help me develop a better balance. And show that, I didn't just abandon everybody immediately, forever, and that I needed the time for reflection to be away, to be better when I come back. The goal was to return to competitive Smash and just feel like a better person. And I think that nearly 3 years of reflection has a lot for that. I do feel very apologetic, though, overly apologetic to an extent. And I want to say that hopefully the time away has allowed me to heal from all those strains. But we'll find out. I guess I'll give it at least a few more chances at the first half of the year, and we'll go from there on forward. So, yeah, up in the air. Maybe I'll come back. I don't know. We'll see. It's a possibility. Aside from important speedrun PB/PR videos you post on your YouTube channel, do you have any plans for other content on YouTube for 2023? So I apologize for everybody. There were a few times where I looked at the screen. I was able to kind of cheat that for the previous first half questions. The answer is, yeah, I have plans for that. I still, after this content creation cycle in December for the end of the year stuff, like the Kart Rewind, my best of montage video, those short, pretty much glass videos,
were tons of fun. I totally discovered that like content creation is a great way to sort of take a break from all the streaming that I do, and I'd like to do a few more of those actually. You know, there's a couple of Mario Kart videos that I want to do. There's another video of my personal speedrunning history that I want to kind of cover. There's a lot of things in development, and I think it's going to take some time to get through some of them. I might do some less intensive ones, like highlight videos perhaps, maybe, on some older history on my secondary channel. So the combination of those two, I think would be fun, a little extra facet for people to sort of experience. What it was like in my streams, what it's like in my history of playing a bunch of different games, and I think it'd be good because it would allow me to explore outside of not just games, but also just like different speedrunning communities, specific things. I want to kind of discover my own style. I still am taking a lot of time to do that, simply because, you know, I'm kind of sort of confined between a mix of this hybridization of like Summoning Salt, Employment, a couple of other YouTubes I can't think of at the moment. There's a whole wide variety of them. I have to name all my influences on a whole different video, and then like go into depth explain why they're influences to begin with. But like, yeah, I feel like I'm still in a hybridization. I don't necessarily have everything all evened out, but I would like to put out some more content. I think that'd be good. And I'd be able to provide a much more regional niche angle to Mario Kart 64. A lot of people seem to like that. I'd like making them myself, and I want to provide a little extra history. So, again, those are going to take some time. I've been spending one of the specific videos I've been working on, you know, has been worked over for the process of nearly 2 years now, because the information keeps on changing, and I still have to jump over the hump of getting all the video footage compiled together, as well as getting permission from some speedrunners from the community to claim, or just to have some footage to work with for certain information. So, gonna take a while. I hope to get like 1 or 2 of those out at least this year. I don't know. It's not a full-time pursuit, I can tell you that much. This is at the bottom of my priorities list. It's still going to be fun, but it's not something that I'm really focused on, especially because like streaming is higher up, being able to engage other hobbies as well, and the fact that I have to have work. So, you know. But it is something to think about, and that is my final question. That's all the questions for this year's 2023 Q&A. What next? That's kind of what to expect this year. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for all the years that they've been supporting me so far. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed speedrunning on Twitch. A lot of growth for the past 2 years that I just haven't been able to get into full depth with. And this is one of the first years I wanted to kind of like sort of lay out how things are going to go. And hopefully it's going to be another good year of YouTube videos, Twitch streaming. We'll see. Only time will tell. So until next time, I'd like to wish you well and a happy 2020.